Shalom, shalom. I would first like to begin the lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who taught me this truth through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Peace and salutations to the brothers out there pushing the truth, the 100% truth out there on the highways and the byways, the Hakim, as well as you few sisters out there listening and learning. Da'akwa to you also, I say shalom. It is your brother, Ratzakabar, back up with another lesson through the Spirit. And I just want to come at y'all with something quick and Lord willing edifying. It's a nice installment. Just want to talk about something I seen come across my news feed that caught me by surprise. Nonetheless, though, I'm going to go ahead and read this for y'all. I'll look a little bit into this case and then pull out some scriptures through the precepts. Or to pull out some scriptures and precepts through the Spirit. And Lord willing, the lesson be edifying to those out there listening and watching. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the title of the lesson being Jake Women and Judgment.
You know I know.
So it says, college sprinter charged after allegedly catching boyfriend in bed with her roommate and stabbing him to death. Now, there was another case as well back home. This is also kind of back home. It's in Jeff City, Missouri, which is about an hour and a half, give or take, from St. Louis. It's the capital. And it happened at a HBCU in Jeff City called Lincoln University, which I've actually been up there before a few times myself. Nonetheless, though, there was also another situation back home that happened on Monday. I want to say where a woman deleted her husband and her wife. She deleted her husband and her wife. She deleted her husband and her daughter. It says college sprinter charged after allegedly catching boyfriend in bed with her roommate and stabbing him to death. And this is the woman, this is the guy. When I first seen this, I said, damn, she look old as hell. Probably just a little bit in distress, though. I looked into both of these. This guy's from Jamaica, she's from Guyana. So, both Banyamyan. Benjamin, tribe of Benjamin. It says, neighbors, can you imagine coming home from your shift and catching your man in bed with your roommate? Child, that is exactly what police say happened in this case. It says, Danita Jackson, a senior sprinter at Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri, has been charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action in the death of her boyfriend, 23-year-old Kevon Golson. Says both were track athletes at the same school. Golson was from Kingston, Jamaica, and Jackson is from Berbice, Guyana. It says, according to court documents, Golson stayed at Jackson's apartment on February 21st. She told police she went to work the next morning, February 22nd, and came home early to find her bed all messed up and Golson no longer in her room. It says, records say she forced her way into her roommate's bedroom using a hair clip and allegedly found them in bed together, clothed with a broken bottle of cologne between them, the same cologne they had argued about before because Jackson accidentally broke it. Jackson told investigators she lunged onto the bed, grabbed the bottle, and grabbed Golson by his shirt, starting a physical fight. She claimed he kicked her in the mouth, She claimed he kicked her in the stomach and later pinned her down and began choking her. Authorities say she grabbed a knife from under the bed and stabbed him in the back, then again in the chest before calling 911 herself. Goldston later died after being airlifted to a hospital. Court records state the couple had what Jackson described a volatile relationship with prior domestic violence. Reports she is being held without bond. Now, originally I just seen this article, but I didn't read it fully, and I also seen a video of a guy going into it right before I did this lesson. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and play this video real quick. Fair use, fair use. This video is not for any type of monetary gain. This video is not for any type of monetary gain. I'm not making any money off of this video. Just strictly for edification and educational purposes only. So with that being said, YouTube, please do not strike this video down. She's around 22, 23 years old. She looks damn near 30. Anyways, hey man, judgment just going out. The funny thing is, I was just reading to my mother, Ecclesiasticus 39:28.
ABC 17 News is also working to learn more after a woman has been charged for a deadly stabbing in Jefferson City. Danita Jackson is charged with murder for the stabbing death of 23-year-old Kayvon Goldson, an athlete at Lincoln University. ABC 17's Haley Sueno, Jefferson City. Danita Jackson is charged with murder for the stabbing death of 23-year-old Kayvon Goldson, an athlete at Lincoln University. ABC 17's Haley Sueno joins us live in Jefferson City. Haley, this marks the third homicide investigation in the city this year.
Yeah, Lucas, this is, as you said, the third homicide investigation into this year. Jefferson City police are concerned with just how many homicide investigations are now underway. We're only in February. I'm going to tell you what we learned today about Goldston's death. Now,
and if y'all don't know, that's not common for Jeff City. It's not really known to have a lot of violence, nor is Jeff City a big city at all. So that's why they're saying that like that.
documents say he and Jackson were in a romantic relationship. According to the Lincoln University Athletics website, both Jackson and Goldson were sprinters on the track and field team. Jackson got off work early and returned to her home in the 800 block of Fairmount Boulevard early Monday morning to find Goldson talking with her roommate. She reportedly told police she thought he was having an affair. The two got into a fight. She allegedly grabbed a knife from under the bed, stabbing him in the back and then again in the chest. Goldson later died at the hospital. Police say 3 homicides is unusual here in Jeff City, especially in a short span of time.
3 so soon into the year like this, concerning. It's something worth a look at and look into the dynamics of what's contributing to those and how we should communicate with our partners and our teams and our assets and how to make sure that we are offering all the assistance.
Chill, man, like I was saying, it's not anything common. Jeff City is pretty small. Considering the other 2 major cities in the state being St. Louis and Kansas City. But nonetheless, though, judgment takes place daily with the Lord, and we know this. So that's pretty much all that occurs, you know. In situations like this, let's say, or we could just use this as a teaching or a learning moment. Let me first get this. The book of Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, in the 5th verse, it says, "The just Yahweh is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. It says he faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame." Continuing on, it says, "I have cut off the nations Their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou wilt receive instruction, so their dwelling should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings, right? So in a situation like this, man, you know what? Let me go ahead and get this. I could go ahead. It's so many different ways you could look at this situation, but let's go ahead and get Ecclesiastes 26:5, right? It says, there be three things that my heart feareth, and for the fourth I was sore afraid. The slander of a city, the gathering together of an unruly multitude. And I've been in that situation before. It's the spirit, man. I was just talking about this earlier today too. The gathering together of an unruly multitude, that's not a good thing. And a false accusation. All these are worse than death. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all. So this is a simple case of a woman that is jealous over another woman. She keyed in, or she broke into her roommate's room. Now, why this nigga thought it was a good idea to be in a room with the roommate of his girlfriend alone in her bed, right? Do I even have to say that don't make no sense? That wasn't the smartest thing that the nigga could have did. But hey, he's hovering over his body right now. He's in the spiritual realm. Now, they said they was clothed in the bed, right? And she came in. They got into it, tussle, whatever. Mind you, they were known for having domestic violence problems. We could get Ecclesiastes 25:19. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. (26 and 23). Wicked. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord, right? So as we can see, this is a case where this nigga most likely, it ain't even most likely, he was a wicked nigga. If you want me to just be upfront and honest. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't have been in that situation. But he was dealing with a crazy bitch, a crazy witch. It says Ecclesiastes 7 and 26 says, and I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands is bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Right? So he clearly was taken by her, man. She was a spirit created for vengeance. And if he was given a portion of a wicked woman, then in turn, he must have been a wicked man. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. And see, this is why I stay to my damn self. And if I do mess with any women, best believe I'm taking my elder apostles and elder bishops' advice, and I'm not disregarding it ever again. Stay the hell away from these Jake women. Ecclesiastes 25:24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Man, when I tell y'all my ears clogged and this shit hurts so bad. Well, it don't hurt. It feels so weird, man. I can't. Yeah. I can't even front. Just wait for this little under the weather. Go ahead by. Proverbs 28:4 says, "They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek Yahweh understand all things." So they don't understand judgment. Let me get something from what I was reading. I've been in the book of 1 Samuel. Is that the 3rd chapter? It might have been in the 2nd chapter. Let's see. Let's go to the 2nd. Yep. First Samuel 2:6. It says, "Yahweh killeth and maketh alive." Let's go ahead and stop right there. Let's go ahead and stop right there, man. You just cut the clip. Now let's read it again. "The Lord," in all caps, Yahweh, "killeth and maketh alive." Remember though, Christians will say, "The devil is alive." Is the devil who killed him, right? The devil, Satan. Satan killed him. What Lil Webby say? He said, when he was on the breakfast show, he said, they tied me. They had asked Lil Boosie, "It was some guys from Chicago when you were performing out there, and they said that they took your jewelry and your money and they ran you off stage." He was like, "Yeah." Then they tied me up and they threw me in the river. Then they killed me. Yep, they tied me up and they threw me in the river and they killed me. Man, can't get over it. "The Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. Yahweh maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up." So this is the Lord's doing, man. It's no getting around it. This is a simple case of judgment at the hands of the Lord. You know. Now let's go ahead, because you probably gonna have people saying, "Oh well," for the people that's gonna say something about having multiple women and whatnot. Mind you, I've said this in my lessons before multiple times. Let's just say this, right? In that situation, the circumstances that he was in, and knowing how his woman was, he shouldn't have did that dumbass shit. Number one is proximity. Matter of fact, Salakia, bear with me. If I can't find her here, I'm going let me go here. Thou shalt not. I might as well go back to Ecclesiastes 26. I need to finish reading that. Salakia, but I'm going to go ahead and get this first, though, so I can make my point. Thou shalt not lie with the sister of thy wife. Leviticus 18 and 18. I was just in the book of Leviticus 18, so I should have known that. Leviticus 18 and 18. Now, of course, I know that these two women weren't sisters per se, but let's just make an educated guess and say that they was close in some way, shape, or form. They was teammates and they lived together. Leviticus 18 and 18, it says, neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is put a part of her uncleanness, which is talking about having relations with the woman when she's on her cycle. Let's read this in the NLT at verse 18. It says, while your wife is living, do not marry her sister and have sexual relations with her, for they will be rivals. Now, let's go ahead and stop right there. Well, what about Jacob? He married Leah and Rachel. And you see how that turned out, which is why the Lord told us not to do that. Now, of course, when Jacob did it, it was a little bit different back then. So the Lord put it in place to where something like that wouldn't happen again, because he desired Rachel. Rachel was the younger sister. But their father said, if you want to take Rachel, you got to take Leah too, because Leah is my first, you know what I'm saying? She's the older sister. You don't want any type of strife between the women. Let's go ahead and get 26 and 7. Ecclesiastes 26 and 7, it says, an evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. A drunken woman and a gatherer abroad causes great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. Yeah, man. Now, of course, unless the roommate had a man, then that guy didn't commit adultery. Let's go ahead and get it. Due to the current status of the world we live in right now, there's a reason why Apostle Paul told us, if you're single, stay single. And if you're married, just go ahead and stay with that person. And it'd be best if you just stay with them. Especially with what goes on nowadays. There's too many STDs, STIs going around. Too many crazy territorial hoes as well. So that'll do stuff like this. 1 Corinthians 7 and 7 says, For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man hath his proper gift of God, one after this manner, and another after that. I say, therefore, to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. Let's get verse 2, Shalakia, and the NLT. Verse 1, it says, now regarding the questions you asked in your letter, yes, it is good to abstain from sexual relations. There's nothing wrong with it. It says, but because there is so much sexual immorality, right, that this fits into the time period that we in right now, Babylon the Great, you know what I'm saying, the revived Roman Empire. It says each man should have his own wife, and each woman should have her own husband. It says the husband should fulfill this. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump down because that's talking about something else. It says, but I wish everyone were single just as I am, yet each person has a special gift from God of one kind or another. It says, so I say to those who are married and to widows, it's better to stay unmarried just as I am. But if they cannot control themselves, they should go ahead and marry. It's better to marry than to burn with lust. But for those who are married, I have a command that comes not from me, but from the Lord. A wife must not leave her husband. Now let me jump down as she is willing to not a believer. Verse 25 in the NLT says, now regarding your question about the young women who are not yet married, I do not have a command from the Lord for them, but the Lord in his mercy have given me wisdom that can be trusted, and I will share it with you. Because of the present crisis, I think it is best to remain as you are. If you have a wife, do not seek to end the marriage. If you do not have a wife, do not seek to get married. It says, but if you do get married, it is not a sin. And if a young woman gets married, it is not a sin. Here's my point. However, those who get married at this time will have troubles, and I'm trying to spare you those problems. So, it's just as simple as that, man. Troubles in the flesh. Lord willing, the lesson was edifying to those out there listening and watching. I'm going to close it off there. Call halal Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone who tell me this truth through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, I say Shalom, Israel, Shalom. And as always, we're one day closer to the kingdom, man. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Shalom, Israel.